There it is, the intro video. Welcome to Arm Wrestling tonight. This is Hollywood Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. We are appearing on camera right this minute. The man to my left, but to your right, depending on what side of the screen you are looking at. And if it is the side without a picture, flip that thing over because you're looking at the battery side. The co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very virtual room. It is the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is the Siberian bull. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is your friend and mine. Please welcome Dave Stockbridge.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Hollywood. Matt Connelly, it's fantastic to be here and joining you on Arm Wrestling tonight once again. And what a big last 48 hours it's been in the world of wrestling, hasn't it? Well, we're not here to talk about that, though. We are here to talk about the upcoming event on the 22nd of June. 22nd of June. In Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, we're going to have Mateo Rungi, the Beast, Heather Morris, taking on Brett Coots for the AWE Intercontinental title. There is the poster, and presenting the belt will be none other than bodybuilding legend Lee Priest. And so this is a big matchup. This is something Arm Wrestling fans have been talking about for some time. Brett Coots has firmly been number 2 on 2 previous occasions at the AWE Grand Prix Series, having just fallen behind Rickard Borman for honours on both occasions, but coming so close, and also not being in his top shape on either of those occasions, having twingy little injuries just coming into both of those Grand Prix events. He tells me he's coming in stronger, bigger, stronger than ever. It's not on his preferred arm. He is a left arm specialist. He remains undefeated and is the AWE left arm heavyweight champion right now, having taken on and beaten Rickard Borman to secure that belt. But he is back to secure right arm glory in the form of this Intercontinental belt against a man who has held his own AWE title previously. Mateo Rungi, the Beast, Heather Morris, of course, walked away from AWE 1 with the AWE heavyweight title over his shoulder, only to lose that belt to Todd Hutchins, and has now he's returning back to Australia in order to secure another belt to add to his growing collection of accolades. This man remains undefeated in his own country. He is called the Beast for a reason, and he will be coming to Adelaide in order to secure himself a title. Hollywood Matt Connelly, big matchup. What have been your thoughts on this one?
It is a huge matchup. These are two enormous men, very powerful, and both having a strength background going into this. Just pure power and raw strength from both men. They love to get inside. They love to just use that. You can see the size of the chest, the shoulders, the back of Mateo Orangi, and he's a bench press champion. He has so much power that way. He's a heavy man, a very big man, 165 kilos, and he is taking on Brett Coots, who is a very hypertrophy-based physique here. He has the bulk, big, large muscles that look like a bodybuilding kind of physique. I think he does compete in bodybuilding as well, but enormously strong, incredibly powerful, and he will be looking to get into his favorite hook position and turn this into an inside war. And I think that's what we're going to see here. I can see that this is two giant men going at it.
Mateo Rungi has previously had some issues with keeping it tight on the table. He's suffered as a result of having such a banged up back. You see this a lot with really hugely muscular individuals. They just because of their huge muscularity and that sheer mass, they can sometimes struggle to keep it all in nice and tight. And certainly the big New Zealander had struggled with that previously. I believe he's he's put in an enormous amount of work into that, and so is now able to keep his hand a little bit closer to his shoulder, a little bit closer to his chin, and let's just hope that makes a big difference, because it's that connection, and we know it's not raw power that New Zealand's number one is lacking, but it certainly seems to be connection and his ability to be able to utilize all of that low down torque. That's what we want him to do, and that's what I believe he's been working very, very hard on. So it'll be very good for him to be able to bring together that very unique combination of strength and
So you'll see that
to
at
be
the
able to
conclusion.
keep things nice and tight. And I tell you what, that commentary team right there, Hollywood Matt Connelly, it's the dream team. This is AWE too, and this is exactly where this match will be. So Matei Burangi is no stranger to the ISCA certified cage, and the venue being the hallowed Adelaide Oval.
That's right, absolutely. We're just looking at that match there. I mean, this is Todd Hutchings, one of the best arm wrestlers getting around in the world. And have a look at this. Was sort of seen as a very one-sided favorite match going in for Todd. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's just going to walk through Mateo Warangi. You know, he's going to cruise through." And the war that it unfolded here, both men were absolutely exhausted at the end of this. And even though it was a 4-0 or 4-1 by the end of it, it was such an amazing match. And yeah, it was definitely a hard fought, well deserved win for Todd Hutchings over Mateo Warangi there.
Yeah, and it was yeah, like I say, every round was a war here, and Todd just giving up his hand a little bit here.
Yeah, it
Mate
was a running
just
foul. Yeah,
leaning back, yeah, and this is what we were saying before. Well, this is what I was trying to point out before. You can see that Mateo Rangi, he gets very open arms. He'll
yeah.
just lean and use that mass to his advantage, and just slowly apply that pressure through the top of his gigantic thumb, and which is just, I mean, it's a hard thing to just hold on to for any of his opponents, but who'll use that to his advantage. But what we're likely to see is him bringing in a little bit closer. And I think if he's able to do that, and he can access more of that strength and get a little bit more inside, more like this, and if he can just pull it a couple of degrees closer to his body, we can see how comfortable he is in this position. But that side pressure, Todd Hutchings there is just absolutely unrelenting. But there you go.
It's hard not to watch this and not get caught up in it, isn't it? Because
Isn't it?
it's such
Yeah, yeah.
an amazing war, and you can see Todd having lost his wrist, but he doesn't care. He's still going sideways regardless. And Mateo Morangi is questionable elbow positioning there, but still, it was an absolutely crazy back and forth there. And I believe it was a restart from, I can't remember who fouled. Somebody fouled, but yeah, it was. You see the sweat dripping off both guys here. I think this is only like the second round as well.
Yes. Yeah,
And
and it was,
you were
and this
calling them
is
up early. Because they were taking so long to get up. And it was
yeah.
like, let's call them up at 45 seconds instead of a minute, because they take 15 seconds to get bloody up into the table.
We did have some time constraints there. This is our event was taking place just before the next event, which was a full card of MMA fighters, and we'd already been. I would say this was what our eighth or ninth match in this event, and they were all wars, and we were running a little bit too close to time for the comfort of the promoters of the next event. So. We had to keep it a little bit tighter, but both athletes worked all the harder, and it did in some part establish our theme of keeping our matches working at a pace. Look again, so it was a very familiar pattern. Neither athlete really accessing a different lane, and each time running with the tried and true strategy. And there we go.
Oh,
There we
conceded,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, looking to stay alive for another round, I think, rather than be sitting too much in that losing position on his bicep. The big New Zealander, understanding he really does need all of that bicep in order to keep himself in the match, and to sit there in a losing position for another 20 or 30 seconds might well mean that he just doesn't have enough to live to fight another day.
That's right.
So yes, this was a lot closer matchup, than a lot of people expected, and unfortunately for the Beast, it mean that he did lose his AWE heavyweight title to Todd in this matchup, and so he is keen, he is hungry to get a strap over his shoulder one more time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Both men definitely want this belt, and they're both going to be coming at this match with everything they've got. Yeah, I think Brett has revitalized his career. He seems to be very dedicated to training, to wanting to meet his potential. And we're getting to see that more and more. He competed with us with the T Series tournament we had here in Adelaide, winning the left hand division, and I think he came second on the right to Lachlan Carpenter. And
Mm,
after that, he had matches against Bowen Quintano and Taryn Broad on left and right on the same day. Unfortunately, sustaining a pec tear in the match with Taryn, but still had the match with Bowen after
yeah.
that.
No, it's a well, and so this was the interesting story for Brett, was that for a long time he was the man to beat in Australian arm wrestling, and he has been around the traps for the best part of the last 2 decades, and just as we were coming out of COVID. Brett's priorities in life had shifted, and very busy with work, and also at that stage he was in his early to mid 40s, and just wondering whether or not, arm wrestling was going to be the sport to you persist with, given that he's also got a passion for bodybuilding, and they're two very distinct sports and very difficult to maintain in parallel to each other. But arm wrestling is all the better for Brett making that decision to make a full return to the sport. And we did see him come out at the T Series events, and then we've since seen him adorn the AWE stage at our last two AWE Grand Prix events, where he has come second to the Phenom Rickett Borman. This was a tough matchup for him on left. Now, Brett Coots' preferred arm is left, and Bowen Quintado was a young rising star, a wood chopping champion, 6'5", and he was only 21 or 22 years old, and he's a phenomenal talent, and just naturally a gifted athlete. And he looked very, very good in this matchup. But Brett just proving that experience and sheer horsepower was enough to get him through. You can see there losing his hand, yet just going sideways. Very similar, isn't it, to what Todd Hutchings was just doing
Yeah.
with Mate Rungi. It's losing his hand, and then you see this moment where from here somehow he finds something, and then he comes back inside and almost throws the 6'5" Bowen Quintado off the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Just just phenomenal, so Brett Coots, his newfound passion for arm wrestling is something to really behold. And now at 48 years of age, he claims he's never been stronger. I mean, this is just simply amazing. He's turning the clock back on his own body, and defying physics, defying genetics, and somehow finding in his near middle age now a depth of strength that he's never experienced before. So this is just something that's truly we're very much honoured to see Brett Coots in his physical prime, showing our younger athletes at AWE exactly what it's going to take in order to be world class, and pushing himself to that level as well. So it is fantastic.
That's so good. This match is just insane. I can't believe he was able to do that. It's one of those special things in the sport. And you see Bowen there, he's just like, how? How did he do
Yeah.
that? I had everything I needed and I'm bouncing up and down towards the pad. Brett's wrist is flopped back. He's on his bicep. He's got nowhere to go. And he's still like, screw it. I'm just going sideways.
And how strong is Bowen Quintado? I mean, Brett Coots has got a 21-inch left bicep. I mean, 21 inches. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And there's young Bowen Quintado, 22 years old, almost getting him to the pin pad there. It's I tell you what, the future's definitely very, very bright, and not just for young Bowen, of course, but Brett Coots is in this purple patch at the moment. He really is deserving of some world class opportunities, and I would love nothing more than to see Brett Coots over the next 4 or 5 years find his way onto the biggest stages of the world and really prove himself to be a formidable force on left arm.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got the left-handed AWE heavyweight title at the moment, and he is shooting for the Intercontinental title for the right hand as well, which is up for grabs June 22nd at Diamondback Fighting Championships. It will be part of their event there, and tickets are available to the event if you want to go see it in person. Diamondbackfc.com is the website. You can get the tickets there, and you would not only see the matchup between Brett Coots and Matai Warangi Hedda-Morris, but you would get a treat of an entire night of cage fights as well. And Diamondback Fighting Championship is the premier MMA organization in Australia. They do a tremendous job, and you will always be entertained going along to a DFC event.
Absolutely, and you can buy the pay-per-view as well. So you can do that by jumping onto that diamondbackfc.com page, and that's all available for you as well if you can't make it there in person.
That's right, absolutely, and we've seen some amazing moments that have taken place in that octagon, and you have done some incredible jobs with the ring announcing and being the man in the octagon. But I guess not the third man, not the referee, but the man who gets the best seat in the house and gets to talk to the fighter straight afterwards. What has that been like for you, being the announcer of those sorts of events?
Well, I wouldn't say I'd necessarily have the best seat in the house because you tend to have the seat right between the ring girls every single event and for free, and somehow no one's noticed. But you can watch any DFC event and you'll just see Hollywood Matt Connelly right there ringside in the background, or cage side, I should say. But indeed, it's been a privilege. It's one of the great joys of my life that this has been an opportunity that's opened up over the recent years, and to have that chance to step into the cage and to be a part of these events where there's sometimes up to 1,500 people in that room, of fans, and thousands more watching from around the country and around the world, and to see some of this up and coming combat sports talent rise through the ranks, and some of whom have now moved on and found their way onto the PFL and onto UFC, and so it's been a privilege to be some small part of those journeys, and to be watching from the sidelines and seeing some of that young talent make its way through to bigger stages. So it's been great. And tomorrow night it's Pride Fight Series. Their Pride is back, so there'll be 1,000 raving Muay Thai fans in the room, and I'll be all dolled up in a tuxedo, standing in the middle of the cage, making some noise for that as well.
Sounds fantastic. It's going to be amazing. And this is what's fun for me, when people don't realize that you do the announcing work. And then when you will do an announcement for their match, and they're like, "Oh God, I didn't know it was going to be like this." And they never know what to do. This is the funnest bit. Is like they stand. It's like, "Oh, stand there while we introduce you," and you'll do the whole spiel, and you come weighing in, and his arm size is this, all the way from Canberra. It's somebody or another. Well, while they're standing there, they always look like, yeah, well, hello everyone. Like, they don't know what to do.
It doesn't take too much though. After they've heard it a couple of times, the third time they're coming out like they're the Rock. You know, it's like they're pumped.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it really is. It's great fun. So yeah, so yeah, definitely you'll see a bit of that if you tune into the live stream for the event. But yeah, Hollywood Matt Connelly, we can't leave tonight's podcast without getting a prediction from you with respect to this matchup. Keeping in mind we will have both athletes on the podcast
Yeah.
in the coming weeks. So, but do you have a favourite this far out yet, or
Oh,
are you going to, how are you weighing this one up? Let's say it goes inside. So you'd have a preference for Brett in that situation if he's able to get it inside, understanding how uh, he seems to arm wrestle not too dissimilarly to Todd Hutchings in some respects. He's very low in his plane. He's happy to give up his wrist in order to maintain that side pressure. And at the same time has that ability to be able to, claw it back inside and finish with a press. It seems to be that's Brett's modus operandi. So maybe he's been watching these videos of Mateo Rungi and he's starting to develop a game plan around a very similar strategy as applied by Todd Hutchings.
potentially, yeah. Well, it's for me, it's pretty hard to pick a winner. I could see the way that the match would go, and I think it's going to be some long, drawn out rounds. I don't think there's going to be a flash at all. I think both guys are tremendous in defense, and with Brett's positioning, he does tend to use a lot of the bicep muscle when holding, and Mateo Warangi sits more in a pronation defensive position, allowing his sort of forearm bones to do the work. So I think the longer that the match goes, I could see it favoring Mateo Warangi because it would be less strain on his bicep as opposed to being supinated like I always see Brett in when he is defending. So I think that it's going to be some long drawn out rounds, and I think it's going to get more and more fatigue for both guys as they go on. So I think the last round they're both going to be coming up to the table and then they lean on the table and the arms like a wet noodle, and they're like, the referee's like slapping their hands together, and they're just like, ah. So I think at that point it's just whoever can stand up will get the win.
Endurance will be a factor. Cardio will be a factor.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we both know they're very powerful athletes. This might just be a match of attrition and a matter of who can just stay live the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting match. It's a little bit too hard to call this early on. I'll be very interested to see how both athletes are approaching this match, because I think that might be the determining factor in my prediction. So we'll certainly see. But both athletes training really hard. If you check out their social media accounts right now, you'll see that they're in full preparation mode. Of course, both will be looking to absolutely be maxed out strength-wise in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then I think Mateo Rungi likes to taper a little bit, be a little more restful in the lead up, and Brett tries to maintain a high degree of intensity right up until the day. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of those approaches are play out, and who's got the edge on the 22nd of June.
That's right. Absolutely. Who's your pick then, Mr. Stockbridge?
I feel like it's it's too early to know. Yeah, I would say that so what we've seen is Brett from that very low plane has been able to exert enough side pressure to and you saw that with Bowen on left, and it's very similar. His game plan is pretty similar, but on both hands. But where he's able to force his way through with side pressure. I guess the question is Brett Coots' side pressure as intense as Todd Hutchings? And because, I mean, if Todd Hutchings is the king of side pressure, and it took the king of side pressure to bust through Mateo Rungi's, almost his king's move defense, that very open armed style of sitting back and using that weight. Does Brett have that that unrelenting side pressure that it took to take out the big New Zealander just a couple of years ago? And not only that, but as I've alluded to on a couple of occasions, if Mateo Rangi is able to keep a little bit tighter, what other options and lanes does that provide New Zealand's finest on the night? And maybe that just opens up some more options for Mateo Rangi to be on the offensive, because we've almost come to expect that his first reaction isn't forwards and across; it's often back, and he's happy to hold it out and use his ballast in order just to kind of keep himself set until there's a bit of fatigue starting to set in, and then he'll try to work his way into a more dominant position from there. But if he is able to keep things a little bit tighter, does that mean that he can launch straight off the start? And understanding also that Brett probably isn't that fast mover off the start as well. So if he's able to bring that together, maybe that just gives him the advantage. So it'd be interesting to see how both athletes are thinking about it, and as we talk to them more, and how well recovered Mateo Rangi is, and how fresh Brett is feeling, because we've seen him in the past get be in very good condition, and then all of a sudden have a twinge or a mishap in the final couple of weeks, and it doesn't take much at this level just to be a little bit off. It can make a real difference in this type of matchup. So very interesting. I can't wait to find out myself.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think you could almost say it's very similar to a drag car, like your top performance drag car that has so much power and so much torque and so much grunt, but they tend to break under because there's so much power going through the engine, through everything, that things start blowing off left and right. And we have seen that with some of these incredibly strong guys that their shoulder will go, or their chest will go, or we see arm breaks, or we see just these crazy, because there's so much power that they're putting in. It's almost destined to end in some sort of injury, because there's two enormously strong guys going against each other. It wouldn't surprise me if they were both very sore at the end of the match.
Yeah, indeed. Hollywood Matt Connelly. So, well, big match. That is the 22nd of June. That is as part of the Diamondback Fighting Championship card here in Adelaide, AWE headquarters. You'll see this live on Diamondback FC. You can buy the pay-per-view, you get the whole card. We are working on a second announcement for this same event, so certainly stay tuned. There'll be at least two reasons for arm wrestling fans to be interested in this event. Tickets are now on sale, so if you do want to be there in person and be part of the night, you'll get also the chance to meet the athletes, and to also meet Lee Priest, who'll be there and in person and presenting the AWE Intercontinental belt to the winner, to one of these men now on screen. So thank you very much, Hollywood Matt Connelly, for another joyful Arm Wrestling Tonight experience. Thank you to everybody in the comments for joining in again. Are we just going to throw out the comments just quickly before we go? It's just a few of them there.
Yeah, we got Kiwi Sam, who says that the beards are looking full force and powerful. Thank you. Kiwi Sam. Historian is here with the hand pink waving. Hello to the Historian. And Kiwi Sam says it looks like there were a few flyers on the day. That was the Bowen Kitato and Brett match. It was. What a good match. It was a tremendous match. He's on the AWE channel as well. You can see that there. Richard Jennings says, good morning, boys. Hello to Richard. Always good to see you guys in here. So yes, we've come to the end of today's show, I believe, and we're looking forward very much to June 22nd and seeing how this enormous match between two incredibly powerful men plays out.
Incredibly, the arm historian is not going to be too far away when it all happens. So that's very interesting. So yeah, well, that's we'll pop the kettle on. We'll see you when you get here then.
Does he know he knows how big Australia is, doesn't he? If you're in Australia, you are still hours and hours and hours away from where we are. Even if you're in the same state.
Indeed.
You'd be like, I'm in South Australia, come over. It's like, you are 9 hours away.
And to get there, you have to go across the desert. So,
That's right.
but we hope it'll be in the Philippines. Well,
that's nowhere near Adelaide.
It's kind of close.
Might as well be the moon.
Indeed, it is closer. It is closer. Well, thank you very much, Arm Wrestling fans. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Thank you to everybody that's joining us, and to all those that show some interest in AWE. We look forward to bringing in more Arm Wrestling tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys.